Arithmetic 3. It includes limits of accuracy, scales and simple math problems, time, money, and temperature. So the limits of accuracy include upper bound and lower bound. What is the upper bound? Let's see. For example, if we're given a length as 11 centimeters to the nearest centimeter of a rectangle, by 11 centimeters to the nearest centimeter, it means that this value may have been in decimal, but it was rounded off to the nearest centimeter to get 11. And the breadth is given as 9 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. Since it's nearest centimeter, what could have been the values, the original values of the length that we got nearest centimeter? It could have been 10.5, yes, because 10.5 would round off to make 11 to the nearest centimeter. It could have been 11.4, because if rounding that off to the nearest centimeter would give me 11, yes. It could have been 11.49 as well, because rounding 11.49 to the nearest centimeter is going to give me 11. And so I'm going to write this 11.49 as 11.5. And for my length, my upper bound is 11.5, and my lower bound is 10.5. 10.5 is the lowest value that could have been for my length, and 11.49 is actually my upper bound, but since we're writing it at one decimal place, we'll round it off to 11.5. Similarly for B, my lower bound will be 8.5, and my upper bound is in reality 9.49, but I'll write it as 9.5. And the simplest way is that if it's nearest centimeters, the nearest centimeter is 1 centimeter divided by 2.5, then subtract that 0.5 from 11 to get the lower bound. So 11 minus 0.5 is 10.5, and add that 0.5 to the upper bound, to the value to get your upper bound, that is 11.5. Now, when you have your lower bounds and upper bounds, the question asks you to find the lower bound of the area. For the lower bound of the area, I want the lowest possible value for the area. And for area, I use length into breadth. And so I'll be needing the lowest two values to get the lowest area. And the lowest value here was 10.5. The lowest value here was not 8.5. And from that, I can get my area. That is 10.5 times 8.5 to get 89.25 centimeters squares. Scales and maps. If I have a scale of 1 centimeter on the map is to 400,000 centimeters in reality, and the question says, find the actual distance in kilometers represented by 7 centimeters on the map. So, if it's 1 is to 400,000, the scale, and I want to find 7 centimeters, I'm going to place my 7 here. 7 is to 400,000 into 7. Why am I doing that? Because if 1 centimeter is 400,000 centimeters, then 7 centimeters should be 400,000 centimeters times 7 centimeters. That gives me 2.8 million centimeters as the actual distance of any pathway, any line, anything on the map that is shown as 7 centimeters. If I want to find, and then I can convert that 2.8 million centimeters, 28 kilometers. Why? Because my question asked me to do so. We all know we'll convert the centimeter to meter, then the meter to kilometer to get 28 kilometers. Money. You have conversion. And so if the question says $1 is 2 pounds and 1 pound is 100 rupees, find 200 rupees in dollars. How am I going to do that? I want 200 rupees in dollars. I have the conversion set as $1 is 2 pounds and 1 pound is 100 rupees. So I'll first convert the 100 rupees to 200 rupees if 100 rupees is 1 pound and 200 rupees is 2 pounds, right? But then I'll convert that 2 pound that I got from here to dollars, and 2 pounds is $1. So 200 rupees is equals to $1. So time. If I'm asking you what 1500 is in a 12-hour clock, this is something very important. 1500 is in my 24-hour clock, because in a 12-hour clock, you can only have numbers from 1 to 12, but in a 24-hour clock, you can have numbers from 0 to 24. So 15 hours in a 24-hour clock, what does that mean? First, we have the AM. So in a 24-hour clock, 100 would mean 1 AM. But 15:00 would be something in PM because it's exceeded 12, and when it exceeds 12, it becomes a PM. So 15:00, even though it doesn't have any PM in it, but if I convert it into my 12-hour clock, it's going to be PM. How am I going to find that out? 12 plus X is 15. You wanted it for a 12-hour clock, so 12 plus what is giving me 15? 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. So in a 12-hour clock, if I have 12 p.m. and I add 3 hours to it, I'll get 15:00 in a 24-hour clock, but 3 p.m. in a 12-hour clock. And 3:00 in a 24-hour clock is 3 a.m. But in a 12-hour clock, if it says 3:00, the a.m. or the p.m. has to be given with it. Temperature. On Sunday, the lowest temperature was -12, and the difference between the lowest and the highest temperatures was 7. Find the highest temperature on that day. I'm just going to add 7 to -12 to give me -5. And that's my answer. That's -5 degrees Celsius is the highest temperature that day.